subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Let me get some more people in here. Let's get AB 2000. AB 2000 in the building. AB 2000.
Hey, what's up, Tariq? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. AB, how are you, brother?
Doing good, man. Shout out to you, man. You always standing up for the family.
Yes, sir.
You always got a lot coming at you, man. So shout out to you, man. Yeah, we had him in the space earlier. I couldn't get up in Adonis's space. But one thing that I wanted you to kind of speak on and keep our focus whenever you're doing these spaces is how the Democratic Party, they've been trying to use the men against women,
Yeah.
women against men, you know, and it always comes to a head because they utilize the LGBTQ, movement
Yep.
to keep us bickering at each other back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And see, one thing that I've realized over this past couple of months as the Democrats been, campaigning, talking about women's rights and stuff like that, it's really the LGBTQ who's infringing on their rights.
Mm.
So I'm not going to go too long, but Tariq, I think if you would do us a favor, meaning the family, the biggest a favor, I think it's real key to show how they, dress Quavo in the fishnet, stuff, and and then they do like the Kelly Rowland stuff. They put them in the suits and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They know the narrative that they're trying to push on our people, and we ain't going for that.
Yes. Thank you so much for the call. Not only that, fam, have y'all seen how they parade these NFL players around now before the games? Because my brother AB brought up a very good point. And I noticed that. I saw one football player, one NFL player walking in the game. Notice lately they have these dudes sashaying in these real moist, dainty clothes. That's a common theme now with these black football players. Right before the game, it was one dude, I don't even know his name, but they had this dude, he was dressed, this dude, man, they had this dude with a leather short set on and some hoe boots and some stockings, it looked like. This nigga was dressed like Salt and Pepper, walking, sashaying and switching to the game. I'm like, well, this is deliberate. They're dressing these dudes up in fishnet tops and nipple rings and open-toe kitten heels and having them walk into the game strutting real funny style. And I'm not knocking nobody's lifestyle, but just the optics of that is very interesting. That they get these big old buff dudes, have them switching around to the games. Huh? Real interesting dynamic. Let me get Nicholas in the building. Then I'm gonna get Melanie. Nicholas?
Yo, what's going on, Tariq?
Hey, Nick, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm in Milwaukee. I'm FBA 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to say my pops is the biggest liberal you ever want to meet in your life. He a boomer, Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since Trump won, he been mad at me, my brother, people at the bar, his friends. My dad been just crashing out, cussing us out and shit. And I just want to know how you deal with older black people in family. I think you might have touched on this before, but old black people in your family who too stuck on the Democrats. Hella emotional.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
land my plane.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Oh, yeah. So dad's over there cursing out the sons. Well, he's mad. Yeah, the older folk, they're very mad at the younger people now. They're very mad, I'm telling you. The older Democrats in the DNC, everybody's crashing out on the grassroots and younger black folks. They're all mad. They're just pissed off right now. So the dad is over there cursing out his son. Get your ass out there and cut that grass like I told you, him. And don't cut over my Kamala sign. Leave it up there, because she is still my president, him. This dad crashing all the way out. You can't listen. The older folks, you can't save them. You just leave them be. Just go look. Leave them be. You can't really save them. It's like that loyalty. They still got that loyalty from the 60s. You dig? They're still loyal that the Democrats gave them some civil rights bills. So they're gonna be loyal to the death. All right. Here, the Democrat, we got to vote Democrats. Hell, I wasn't able to drink from a water fountain if it weren't for the damn Democrats here. Is that? They're happy that the Democrats gave civil rights. All right. So they're just going to be loyal to a fault. All right. All you can do, let dad go, just get him some butter pecan ice cream. He'll calm down. Get him some butter pecan ice cream and some sunflower seeds and get him a little taste of wild Irish rose and calm him down. He'll be all right. Melanie, what's up, beloved?
Hey, Tariq.
How you doing, Miss Melody?
I'm doing awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I wanted to hit a certain angle that I think a lot of people is missing.
Mm-hmm.
The policies and stuff that the presidents be signing, I think that's the play that they're gonna use. Because if you think about it, when Obama signed the police bill, when he signed the LGBT bill and the
Mm-hmm.
immigration bill, that was the tactic. Those were the tactics that they was using against black people.
Yes, it
With
was.
the gender divide, they policing us, policing our kids' gender. Like that was the strategy that they was using. But when you think about it, when Biden signed the bill, it was with Asians. And that's when that Asian hate came. And then he used Kamala as an Asian to try
Yep.
to replace us. I think we need to kind of follow the policies and stuff that they be signing because I think that's a move that they trying to make. So
Mm-hmm.
now Trump is hollering a lot of CRT. So I think we need to keep our eye on that because
Mm-hmm.
with CRT, they trying to replace our history. See,
Yes.
Biden was going to do an Asian invasion with the Asians and the Indians and all the other stuff. That's why he was using Kamala and signed
Mm-hmm.
that bill because I think that was the play that he was going to use on us. So now
Mm-hmm.
we got to think about how Trump finna do this. Now I
Mm-hmm.
know he's not really focused on us mainly, but the only topic that I see that he's targeting us with is the CRT, and I'm laying there.
Thank you, dear. And here's the thing with that, because a lot of people are talking about how Trump has put out a video threatening to sue schools for DEI programs and then give the money to the other students, meaning the white ones. So yeah, we're not shocked by that. But here's the thing: most of the DEI hiring, it ain't even us. We're not really. See, we got to understand when we ain't really benefiting from anything anyway. Go ahead and gut it. The DEI, that's for Latinos, that's for Asians, that's for East Indians, that's for foreigners, that's for LGBT. So they get in front of the line and get all that stuff anyway, to be honest. We don't benefit from all of these DEI hires, that diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'm telling you from experience because we try to get funding for the museum from some of these government grants, and some of those are they get ate up by these DEI programs, and it's usually Hispanic, women's groups, LGBT groups. They get first dibs, and we don't get anything. All the money is just exhausted because all of these other minority groups, they get the funding. We don't get it anyway. So gut it all. Hell, gut it all. Don't nobody get nothing. I ain't got a problem with it. So let's revamp and then let's just start campaigning strictly for descendants of freedmen. See, I'm cool with all of that DEI stuff because it's too vague. Because what they do, they use our suffering to say, hey, let's get some diversity, equity, inclusion. Yes, because the black people, whoa, look at how bad they suffered. All right, so that means let's get a bunch of white LGBT people in here. So yeah, people are still coming up off our struggle. Brittany, hop in, dear.
Tariq?
Hey, Brittany.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
I'm good. Where are you calling on? What kind of phone is that?
I got an iPhone. Does it sound janky?
It sounds very janky. It sounds like a speaking. What kind of phone is that, dear?
I think it's because I'm driving in my car and it like picked up on my speakerphone, so I
Oh,
don't know how to. I
you
don't know
you
how to turn it off.
okay, you got them Nissan Altima speakers, ma'am. It's you,
No, it's not a Nissan Altima, but I just wanted to tell you that you're gonna be like really big like in 20 years because I listen to you with my children
hmm
and my daughter, she's 7 years old. I guess they were having like a little political conversation on the playground, and all the kids were telling her, "Well, my mom voted for Kamala," And then Diana said, well, my mom voted for Donald Trump. And then all the kids say, why did your mom do that? She's going to be the first black president. And then Diana said, she's not black. So
Oh,
I
good.
just wanted to let you know that you got 7-year-olds out here speaking truth to power.
Love it.
So I just want to, thank you for what you do and tell you that we listening. So
Thank you so much. Shout out to that 7-year-old. I love it. Let's get FBA World in the building.
Good evening, Tariq. So, man, how are you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fine. So, to the point as far as these Democratic shills just crashing out, I mean, this is the first time that I've seen a landslide win for a Republican, and liberals are losing their damn mind,
Mm-hmm.
cursing everybody out, crying. And for a lot of them, I'm wondering, do a lot of them need mental health checks? Because a
Yeah.
lot of them, yeah, a lot of them needs them.
Yeah.
And just more to, yeah, and more to the point, when I was listening to Professor Black Truth, as far as the Democrats and their numbers softening over these past election cycles, he brought up an interesting point that when it came to the Biden administration and when he was running during his internal polling, the internal polling for Biden wasn't good for him,
Right.
and Biden's group pretty much ignored that, thinking that their shit didn't stink, and the internal polling people telling no, so no, this is what now the people here thinks differently, and I'm willing to bet that the internal polling for Kamala's group pretty much told them the same thing, and they then paid heed to their advice and pretty much saw what happened. I land there.
Thank you so much. Yeah, listen, the internal polling, we knew they knew what was going on with the internal polling, but they were wishing and hoping on a prayer. So they thought if they know the internal polling is looking real bad for Kamala, so they said, well, we need to just go out here and really double down on cracking the whip on these black people to really make them and shame them to come out and support. And too many of us on the grassroots were like, no, we're not going out there to support no Kamala or the Democrats. We don't owe you anything. You've been very hostile to us. You've been negligent of us, and we're going to let you crash and burn. And that's exactly what we did. Brian T., what's up, sir?
Oh man, what an honor. Thank you for letting me up here.
Yeah.
I really wanted to thank you and all the Black Americans, FBA, Freedmen, those folks for looking at everything fairly when it came to this elections.
Yeah.
I like how you really call out racism on both parties.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really great to hear. I like the messaging. I follow. There's a bunch of people in this space that I follow. Actually, I've learned about the reparations movement and things like that. I wanted to touch base on. I really think the black grassroots really turned this election sideways and tilted it towards Trump.
Yeah.
I pushed specifically. I was always chirping in your ear on Twitter, trying to push Trump into meeting with you and some of the other grassroots leaders, because I think if he would have done that and skipped over a few other podcasts, my question kind of is you, if he would have done that, do you think the odds of flipping California red completely would happen?
You know what? I think that was it could have. Because you know what's interesting out here in California, and I live in California, I see a lot of Trump signs all over the place. I see a lot of Trump signs, and from what I saw on some of the polling numbers that were coming out, Trump had some pretty high numbers out here in California. Trump had a lot of high numbers in California, surprisingly, well, or not surprisingly. Again, man, the Democrats, man, people are just not feeling it, just all across the board. And here's the thing: what the Democrats, they usually scare us with, oh, the Republicans. See, we can't let Trump and we can't let the Republicans. They get the House and the Senate and the Congress. You're gonna get a bunch of Republican um, Supreme Court justices. You're gonna get a Listen, family. What's wrong with Republican judges and Supreme Court judges? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that as opposed to the Democratic ones? Because what I don't want people to do, and we got to be very careful about letting the dominant society, especially the left wingers, they put all the racism on the right wingers. The only time they'll talk about racism is if they're talking about somebody on the right. And we're not going to let them play that game. We're not going to let them play that game because a lot of stuff that happens to black society, it happens under the Democrats. A lot of the racial targeting is under the Democrats. And listen, y'all have heard me talk about this before. Listen, I grew up down in Birmingham, Alabama. I lived in Detroit, then I moved down to Alabama, and then I moved out here to LA when I was a teen. And I always said, man, the real hardcore racism I saw was when I came to California. Yeah, there was racism in the South, but down in Alabama, most of the white people are very conservative. And I've always said this, white people down in Alabama are real friendly people. Even though they're conservative, they're actually cool people. They're cool, friendly, hospitable people. They just want to do their thing and let us do our thing. You know? Not too many problems. Yeah, systematically, they kind of get janky with the resources here and there, but as far as directly harming us, we didn't see too much of that. But when I came out here, I remember coming out here as a teen in the 80s, boy, you had the Democrat police chief, the Democrat mayor. Man, I was out here when I came out here. There was a dude named Daryl Gates who was the chief of police in Los Angeles. This guy was a damn tyrant. They were waging war on black people out here in the 80s. This was a Democrat-run city and state, and you had a police chief Democrat who was running roughshod on black society. These people were running up in people's houses with batarams, man. They were running tanks up in people's houses in LA. I was like, damn, that's what I came out here to. I came out here in the mid 80s, and Cash was like, hey, man, watch out for the bataram at 6 in the morning. That song that Ice-T had, 6 in the morning, that was about some real stuff. They were running up with tanks, barging into people's houses if they thought that you had some drugs in there. Go look at the movie Straight Outta Compton, that opening scene, phenomenal scene. Straight Outta Compton, phenomenal movie. F. Gary Gray did his thing, but there's a scene where they ran a battering ram up in the trap house that Easy was doing a deal in. That was very, very real. It was the Democrats. You dig? And a lot of these Karen videos that we see, usually these Karen videos, and I always pointed this out, it's in Democrat areas. These are in Democrat cities. These are in liberal areas where these Karens are like, hey, what are you doing here? Why are you going in this pool? Why are you walking in this store? What's your name? Do you live here? These are liberal places where this happens, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah? The white liberals, boy, they are hell. I would rather deal with a white Republican than a white liberal. You dig? Because the white liberal, they come over to your neighborhood and then take over and gentrify it. See, the white conservatives, they live in their little areas and they're cool in their little areas. They're cool in their areas. But see, the white liberals, they come down and those are the ones who gentrify your ass. See, they're the ones who come down and they act like they're friends and allies, and all of a sudden, when they start jogging and getting condos in the area, things start to change. When you start seeing white liberals walking their dogs all over the place, you better understand a change is going to come. When I go to Harlem, I see a bunch of white people running around jogging and stuff. I'm like, oh, we got to see what's going on in Harlem, even South Central LA. See a bunch of white people walking their dogs and jogging. And it starts off with them walking the dogs and jogging. But what happens is when those white liberals start to settle down and then they start to pair up with other white liberals and they start to have kids, those kids are going to have to go to school in that area. And guess who they're not sending their kids to school with? Yours. That's when things start changing. When the white liberals start having kids, now the school district, it gets redrawn. Now, all of a sudden, we see these weird changes. You see, right when they start getting their kids in the game, your kids are gonna get put up out of there. You see? Then we start seeing these Karen videos and them calling the cops on random black people. So yeah, I don't let the Democrats point the finger and throw right wing white people under the bus because yeah, that's a smoke screen. And there's some right wing white people who are cool. There's some left wing whites who are cool. There's some who are janky on both sides, but the Democrats more so. Let's get DSS Shakespeare. DSS Shakespeare. What's going on, Mr. Shakespeare? While we're waiting on Mr. Shakespeare, let's get Futures. Let's get Futures in the building.
Hello, hello, hello. How are you?
That's Shakespeare. What's up, Shakespeare?
Hey, not much. I'm interested in your perspectives on a couple of things. So,
Go ahead.
I'm a 5 decade native of California. How about you?
Damn near the same. Damn near the same. I've been here since '87.
Yeah, that seems so. You're probably about my age, maybe a little younger, but um, yeah, so the South, Appalachia, West Virginia. I've spent time in that region of the country during summers. Had a brother that lived there, and yeah, they're very kind, wonderful people, God fearing type people, and But then my experience in California, I live in the Central Valley, kind of in the San Joaquin Valley area. So I'm towards the east side of the valley. I would be in that region just between Bakersfield and Fresno. So it's a deep red state, um, as compared to the the coastline, which is high. It's heavily Democratic.
Shakespeare, I'm gonna have you. You got to get yourself together because you're kind of losing me, and you got to get your thoughts together. I have you call up when you get your thoughts together. Okay, I don't know where you going with it, brother. Um, let's get Eat Things Burner. Eat Things Burner in the building. Eat.
Yo, Tariq, what's up? Hey man, I wanted to say, did you talk about because I just came in how Kamala spent $1 billion on her campaign
Oh,
instead?
yeah, I've been talking about that. Yeah, I've been talking about that. Now they're doing breakdowns of all the money that she paid folks to help her out, and um, yeah. So a lot of people are talking about that. But yeah, yeah, we've been discussing that for the last few weeks, actually. All right, so let's get Angel Kia. Let's get Miss Angel Kia in the building. Let's go, Miss.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, how are you guys doing? Hello.
yeah, go ahead, dear.
Yeah. So one of the things that really turned me, of one of many things that turned me away from the Democratic Party, is the fact that they ran their base primarily on the basis of reproductive rights,
Yeah,
and unfortunately, that has become synonymous with abortion. And as a woman that has a lot of family members, unfortunately, that deal with not being able to have children, I don't think enough was spoken to that. It was focused too much on people just wanting to their babies instead of women that actually want to have children and are having difficulties with that. I'm in school right now or trying to look for resources to become a doula and a lactation specialist, and the resources for that is very slim. Like, I really have to search to find programs that I can get involved in. And I remember a couple years ago you were speaking about when your wife was pregnant about not being able to find a midwife in your area.
hmm
So that really turned me away because too much was talked about abortion and not enough about women that actually want to have children and the cost of IVF and all those things. So that really turned me away. And I didn't like that as a woman that really does want to protect reproductive rights. Not enough was spoken to that. And I couldn't support it anymore.
yeah, I feel you, sis. But yeah, yeah, with the doulas, yeah, they really cracked down on that, especially out here in California. We had like in LA, it was like one black licensed doula left, and then they got her out the pain. She was a phenomenal sister. Yeah, them black midwives, they started getting them out the pain because remember, black women were at one point were the main ones out here helping people birth their babies. They would go to black women. Those black midwives were highly in demand. That's who people would go to get their babies delivered. You go to them black midwives. They found out all that money them sisters were making. Nah. When they see that we have a monopoly, kind of a monopoly on something, where people go to black folks for something, they said, we got to bust this up. We got to train some white folks, some Latins. We got to train some other people to do what they do. But we can't let them get all the paper. Just like with the herbal doctors, a lot of the herbal doctors and the root work doctors, these were black men and women at one point. The root workers, they would go to black people to get healed. They're like, and what happened? All these black people were making a gang of money. They said, we got to bust that up. That's when the Rockefellers and all these people came through and start synthesizing the medicines and the herbs and mixing in petrochemicals. And then you can patent the petrochemicals, you see. They're like, oh, stop going to them root workers because that's voodoo. You know, and they start denigrating them in the media. Stop going to them. They're doing witchcraft. Come over here to this brand new pharmacy and get this drug that we have that's synthesized and got extra chemicals in it. There's gonna be some side effects, but don't worry, we got some symptoms and some pills for the side effects too. Yeah. So they get a herb, find out the properties in that herb that can heal a certain disease, and then put it in a capsule, and you can patent the capsule. You see, that capsule has a patent on it, and then now the drug has a patent on it. You see, so there's a whole finesse that they were running. Nikki, what's up, dear?
Hello, Tariq. Peace to you in the room, in the space.
Thank you.
Yes, I've seen some black doulas here around Milwaukee, but the ones that I saw, they seem to be mixed in with some type of LGBT agenda, which is odd because it's about giving birth. But I wanted to talk about something that you talked about before, but it's just some information just in case you didn't get it. Now, I know that we already discussed the $1 billion that was given out to the entertainers by the Kamala Harris Fund. But when they initially questioned Oprah Winfrey and she was walking to her car and she said, no, no one gave me money. Yes, they didn't give her money specifically. They gave it to Harpo. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I heard you mention this or not because it's been so many nights. But they gave it to the Harpo organization, and she told the person interviewing her that she didn't receive anything.
Right.
She didn't receive anything directly. She received it to her Harper organization.
Mm.
That's how she got it.
Right.
And yeah. And another thing, I'm just a little bit. I'm gonna bring up the ADOS organization. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but I know that I posted about that clip, and Yvette got upset, and she tweeted me a couple times, a couple days ago, but I did find it odd that she responds and says, "Oh, but the Democratic Party does need to reassess." Not only their messaging, but their policies as well. And I'm willing to help politicians serve the ADOS community. And I'm thinking, why help them anyway? If you're not with the Democrats, why are you going out of your way to help one party? I'm not understanding that. But have a good day, Tariq.
Yeah. Strappy is a Democrat shield. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. Strappy's a damn Democrat shield. They're clicked in with the damn Democrats. That's why they were trying to do that vote down Democrat nonsense. Yeah, they clicked in with the Democrats. See, that's why we don't do all that. Somebody's the leader of a lineage garbage. See, that's why they keep trying to four-wall everybody because she's running around here talking about the leader of a damn lineage. So yeah, she really put a black eye in the game, and that's why nobody really rocks with her like that. But it is what it is. T.S. Giselle, I don't have the energy for you today, T.S. Giselle. And I know the family don't want to hear from you today. Yeah, you keep gesticulating, and the family don't want to hear from you today. I can feel the energy. They don't want to hear no T.S. Giselle today. The family just don't want to hear it. All right, we're gonna get some other folks in. Yeah, we don't want to hear it. Yeah, everybody, they're already giving the thumbs down. They're like, no. So family, we're not having T.S. Giselle up in here today. I don't want to hear it, and neither do you. Yeah. Um, everybody giving a round of applause. Everybody thanking me. Uh, man, let's get what's this person? Gorder. I think his name is Gorder. What's up, Gorder? Barely, brother. You got the Wish app earpiece.
Yeah,
I
my
think.
bad.
Are you in your car or are you just using headphones?
Yes, I'm in my car.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that Ultima is really, really in the game right now. But go ahead, brother.
Back to this Isaac Hayes character. He's always been on the wrong side of things since 2019. He the one that was pro vaccine. He
Mm,
the one who was bullying everybody into vote for Biden. We all saw how that turned out.
mm.
But my thing is, he had a decent platform with that fan base thing until he just started crashing out with these damn Democrats. Like, it's mind-boggling. Like, he sabotaged his own business for the Democrats.
Yeah. And you know what? Many people are looking at it like, hell, that might be by design. Again, it's real suspicious. You got this Democrat shill who's trying to get everybody to go to that damn app. And the other brother, Adonis, read some of the fine print of that website, allegedly, how they mine your information and sell your information and harvest people's information. You see, we got to be very, very, very careful about that stuff. We got to be very careful about that and be very cognizant of where you're putting your personal information and who has access to it. If somebody is known to be a liar and they're deceptive, I don't want them having access to my phone number, my email, or my IP address at all. Yeah, at all. We got to be very careful out here. All right, let's get a couple of more calls in here because shout out to everybody in here. We're still in here deep early. Let me get one more good call. Should I get Mimi? Now, Mimi is here. Now, family, Mimi is kind of crazy as cat shit, but let me get Mimi on. I haven't heard from Mimi in a while, so just a heads up, Mimi is kind of out there for those who are not familiar with Mimi. So let's see what Mimi has to say today. Mimi, hop in, dear.
Okay, great. How are you?
I'm good, Mimi. How's everything going, beloved?
It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. How are you?
I'm good, dear. So what's on your mind, Mimi?
Um, I feel like things are coming around.
Okay. Like what?
Yeah, things. I'm sorry.
Like what's coming around, dear?
We're gonna find out who did it.
Who did what, Mimi?
Who did the shit? Who made you gay? Who made you angry? Who made you cut your hair off? We're gonna find out who did it. The who did it resource. That's how I feel. I really feel like that. I feel like the Jacksons and the trumpets are behind all this shit. You know what?
Who's the
And I
Jackson?
want
Who the Jacksons and who's gay and who's the Jack? You lost me, dear.
well basically I just noticed that Michael Jackson died on CNN.
Okay.
That shit was crazy. He died on CNN. He didn't die on no other channel but CNN.
M-
How you feel about that?
Mimi, Mimi, dear, can you tell your drug dealers to stop using all that fentanyl in your crack? I told you before, he's putting way too much fentanyl in the dope. Tell him I said he needs to cut.
No, we didn't even have fentanyl when Michael Jackson was passing away. We had crack.
Mimi,
No, I'm just saying, like,
you gotta tell him to cut back on the fentanyl. They can't be stepping on your dope like this. They just stepping on your narcotic and it got you crazy as cat shit. Okay, Mimi, thank you so much, dear. Okay. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Mimi's doing the best she can. I give her a little, I give her a form to get her little crazy off every now and then. See, sometimes you got to give people you got to meet them where they are because I don't want her being crazy out there in the community. I don't want her to go out there and attack pigeons or whatever. I don't want her to go out in the streets and do nothing wild. So just let her say what she need to say, and she going back to sleep. Good Lord. Oh, goodness. Okay, let me get some more people in here. Let's get the black receipt. The black receipt. The black receipt.
Tariq, what's going on?
What's up, OG? How you doing, sir?
Man, it's been a wild week. I just wanted to know, where all the animosity and hate coming from all these groups? Like, is it the fact that they mad because you can galvanize the people and get them to actually pay attention to what you're doing and how to put our minds together?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want to know.
Great question. Yeah. A lot of the animosity comes towards me because I'm not controlled by a corporate entity where you just can't go to some corporate person and say, hey, shut Tariq's mic off. Well, you can do that to certain entertainers. You can do that to certain people on CNN or Fox or MSNBC. If they say something out of line, if they don't toe the line like they need to, you just make a phone call to the suits upstairs and you get them out the paint. You see, because their notoriety is contingent upon the white people elevating them within the left-wing media. So yeah, they don't have a problem with them. They can snatch them off air anytime. Like Tiffany Cross, when she said something they didn't like, they got her off the air overnight. You see? But when you have somebody who's not controlled by the legacy media and who has a strong grassroots influence, they're like, oh, we gotta do something different. We got to go back to the old COINTELPRO playbook. And remember, the whole COINTELPRO playbook was about stopping the rise of a black messiah. This is their words, meaning a black person who's influential. You have to stop that. You have to always discredit influential black people who has influence on the grassroots. You always have to discredit them. Always. With Malcolm X, they had to discredit him. With Dr. King, they had to discredit him. The Black Panthers, they had to discredit them. You see? With Elijah Muhammad, they tried to discredit him. See, that's the play. You gotta discredit people who are influential on the grassroots so that the black masses will not want to listen to them. So they always tried the discredit disinformation campaign. That's straight out of the COINTELPRO playbook. So just warn people about it, and thankfully people play past it. They see it for what it is. Because it's very obvious, because it's the same playbook they've been running for years. They've always ran that playbook. Yeah. So it's something we're used to. All right. But listen, everybody go to rootworkstyle.com. Get the Rootwork deodorant at rootworkstyle.com. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. Get the Hidden History from A to Z book. Go to officialfba.com to get the book Foundational Black American Race Beta. I might come back on later tonight, so y'all just stay tuned. Follow me here and then follow my YouTube channel at Tariq Radio. And I'm up out of here, guys. Papi Akute, Lalavubi.